You Were Never Really Here is a film that was directed by Lynn Ramsey in 2018, and in my opinion, it's one of the best films released that year. And just overall, it's an incredible film. It's one of those films that I haven't been able to stop thinking about, and it's so good in so many ways. You know what? I think I might be getting ahead of myself here. Hold on, let me describe the film. So, You Were Never Really Here centers around a character named Joe, an ex-military hired gun type guy who tracks down missing children for a living. But Joe's life is not an easy one, and Joe is a haunted man. And his life is thrown off even further when he is tasked with tracking down a senator's young daughter. And that's where I'm going to stop describing the film. You Were Never Really Here is incredibly well written, and its total runtime is only 86 perfectly paced minutes. If I were to describe the film any further, I would simply be saying too much, and then some part of the meticulously crafted narrative would be spoiled. And I don't want to do that, so this video is not going to contain any spoilers. With that being said, this video will contain some scenes that might look like spoilers, and I'm going to tell you definitively that they aren't. The scenes that I'm going to show, divorced from context, won't mean much at all. Knowing about them or seeing them in advance is not going to spoil your experience with the film. They are only there to help me prove my point. But I suppose if you truly do not want anything spoiled, maybe this video isn't for you. And that's okay. So that's the spoiler warning situation out of the way. Now we can move on. So back to what I was saying before. You Were Never Really Here is an incredible film, and it's incredible in so many ways that I feel almost incapable of listing them all. It's incredibly smart and thoughtful and clever. It's got some great performances and some great action and some great storytelling. If you're interested in technical films, this is probably something you'll enjoy. But I actually don't want to talk about that too much. You're going to have to take my word on it. Instead, I want to talk about the one thing that truly stands out about the film. Its sound design and musical score. That might seem like a weird thing to say, but bear with me here. Actually, you know what? Just listen to this. Okay, so that might not have meant anything to you, but let me give some context. You Were Never Really Here does this weird storytelling thing where you'll have a moment that is dictated almost entirely by the visual on screen, and then right after you'll have a moment that is almost entirely dictated by the sound or music. And the film continually switches between these, alternating between moments that have a focus on visuals and moments that have a focus on sound. To take that just a little further, things like action and performance and geography are developed in visual moments, and things like characterization and narrative and feeling are developed in moments of sound. Usually films try to do all of this at once, with the sound and visuals inseparable within the scene. You Were Never Really Here doesn't do that. There are scenes of sound and scenes of visuals, alternating and flowing into one another, like waves or something. And it just continues to flow and alternate, building layers of complexity one at a time. And because of this, because of the way the film uses sound, and because of the way sound was integrated into the creative process, the structure of the film, or the structure of the narrative is actually quite a bit different from what we're traditionally used to in film. And it's actually a really surprising difference. On one side, there's your more traditional narrative arc with antecedent action, initial incident, rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement. And on the other side, there is something new. This is the structure that You Were Never Really Here has. It skips antecedent action, rising action, and falling action in favor of a number of smaller climactic moments, both visually climactic and sonically climactic, alternating. And this is really weird. It gives the film a really strange vibe. And this is all because they let sound and music tell a story. They let sound and music contain information. And because of that, the narrative arc takes a different shape. So let's go back to that clip I played earlier. Focus on what you hear. What are they attempting to evoke? And what are we learning? Here are some more examples. Again, don't focus too much on the visuals. Just take in the sound and music.
Smear campaign, pure integrity. Governor Williams is
figure out what was going on.
and he's a leader.
There's a bunch of people trying to help him.
There's a lot going on in those examples, but I hope y'all heard something in the sound. For me, I hear a lot of emotion and character coming through. And you have to understand that I'm leaving out the surrounding visual scenes. You're only seeing part of what the film wants you to see. But even with that being said, you are getting a lot of information. You're getting structure, you're getting character, you're getting narrative. And I just think that's really cool. I think that's really interesting. I mean, obviously this sort of thing has been done before. Narrative and character and emotion have been conveyed through sound before. It's not a new concept, but I've never seen it done quite like this. And in my opinion, it takes a true artist to change something that is usually so agreed upon. Sound and visuals go hand in hand in film. That's just the way it's done. But in this case, Lynne Ramsay and Jonny Greenwood and Joe Beanie and probably a ton of other people who worked on the film were able to deconstruct the traditional audiovisual experience in a way that is not unlike those corny, deconstructed salads you see at fancy restaurants. But in this case, it's not corny. It's like a revelation. A simple change in the audiovisual experience leading to a sort of monumental change in the way the story is told. It's experimentation in its most perfect form, trying something new because something new is possible. And I think that type of experimentation is brave and admirable and necessary. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say about You Were Never Really Here. It's a great film, full of great performances, great writing, great sound, and great music. There's a lot to love about it, and if you're a fan of technical films, then I think you'll find something to like here. It really is a special film, and it really is one of my favorite films from 2018. I just think it's really cool and interesting that simply taking a different approach to sound and music can actually affect the structure of a narrative. As a side note, this video was really hard to make. Talking about structure and narrative without spoiling anything is always difficult, but I hope I did a decent job of getting my message across nonetheless. Anyway, I'm done. I'm wrapping this video up. And I'm gonna wrap it up by saying, You Were Never Really Here is a really great film. Y'all should definitely check it out if you haven't already.